I'm now with Chris Ingram, the 2019 European Rally Champion, with the Group B with Rallying stand. Hello Chris, and welcome to Race Retro 2020.
Thanks a lot, it's good to be here.
So can I just go back to when you first started rallying? Who was the influence on you to start, when you gave you the influence, who got you going?
It was my dad. My dad used to rally in the 80s in a Sunbeam and a Nissan 240 RS, and then when he made a bit of money in his business back in 2004, he got back into it with a Evo and then a Subaru and a Focus WRC, and he took me to watch a rally when I was 10, really? And in Yorkshire, and I just fell in love with the sport, and ever since that day it's been my biggest love.
And you won quite a lot as a junior, didn't you?
Yeah, so I was very lucky that my dad helped me start initially in a Citroen C1 in junior rallying, and then in my second year I won the championship, winning 6 out of 7 rounds, and then stepped up, got my driver's licence for the road when I was 17, and then we entered the British Championship in a Twingo R2, but then we quickly ran out of all our family resources and sponsorship from family, friends and such, that I had to go on my own and try and find sponsors to carry on, and I was very lucky that Renault Sport backed me, and which led to a fully funded drive with Peugeot UK in the European Junior Championship. So been very lucky, and right place, right time at the start of my career, yeah.
Now can we go back to 2016 when you met Russell Brooks?
Yeah.
The reason I'm talking about that is because all his cars are here, and he helped you to get the Andrews for Heat Hire sponsor, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was very lucky to meet Russell here ahead of my first year with Opel Motorsport, driving the Opel Manta, and to drive with Russell was amazing. I think he was 70 years old, and his car control was still amazing. And then I had to go myself, and then after the event, Russell so kindly helped me get the support from Andrews and John Andrews as well. They helped me get in there with the new owners and make it happen, which saved my career really, and I wouldn't be here today without the support from Russell and all Andrews. So I'm so grateful, and Russell will always be my hero for more than one way. Yeah.
Now another thing now I want to move on to is this last year, with 2 rallies to go. You were in a bit of a mess, weren't you? You'd run out of money, and you got some help from somebody quite close to you, didn't you? Your mother.
Yeah.
She did some funding for you.
Yeah. So was leading the championship. I just missed out on the junior championship by 0.3 of a second on the round before, which the prize was €100,000. So that would have helped me finish the year.
I didn't realise that.
So that was a huge blow, obviously. My main sponsor pulled out at the start of the season, despite a contract, so it was all against me. But my mum set up a crowdfunding page, and just it was incredible the response we had. We had around 500 people sponsor me through the crowdfunding online, and without them I never would have been able to do those last 2 rallies and go on to win the European Championship.
You got about 20,000, is that right? It's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible, and like I said, never would have been possible. So I'm so grateful to everyone that helped make it happen.
But even then, you hadn't won it, had you? You had a problem on the last 2 rallies, didn't you?
So in Cyprus, the penultimate rally, we had a great result there, which gave us a strong lead in the championship. We were second to Nasser Al-Attiyah, he's won it 10 times and won the Dakar Rally, and he's a specialist on those rough events. So we were second to him in Cyprus. Then going into the final in Hungary, I just had to finish on the podium to win the championship, and my Russian rival, he had to win and me finish 4th or below for him to win. So after the first day, he was leading, I was second, which was comfortable for me. I had a puncher drop to 3rd, still had a buffer to 4th, so we were okay going into the very last stage of the rally, 27 kilometres in the darkness and fog, horrific conditions. Half of the stage was gravel on slick tyres. It was I was so nervous going into that stage. But I got a puncher halfway through, another puncher.
And 27 miles this was it?
Yeah, 27 kilometres. Yeah, so I drove for about 12, 13 kilometres on a front right puncher, but I couldn't. My buffer to fourth was only 1 minute and 30 seconds, right. And it'd take me that to change the puncher, plus the fact it's dark, wet. I didn't fancy my chances of changing it in under 1 minute 30, so I carried on, and we actually lost third and dropped to fourth. So at the end of the stage, we thought we've lost the championship, and it's the end. Yeah. But incredibly, my rival also got a puncher in the same place, but he stopped to change his tyre, costing him 2 minutes. So he dropped to second, which meant with him not winning, I'd scored enough points to still beat him in the championship. And it took us half an hour to work the points out at the end of the stage with no phone signal, just media and fans, and nobody knew what happened. It was one of the best rallying moments, I believe.
When,
it was
when you got, it
was incredible. And when we finally got the confirmation from the FIA over the phone that we'd won, it was just the biggest relief ever.
So does it, when people say, European Rally Champion 2000, is it sunk in now?
Yeah, and it's something that I'll always have, and no one will be able to take away.
That's right,
yeah. I think it sunk in when we went to the FIA Awards in Paris, and Lewis Hamilton said congratulations. That was when it really sunk in, yeah.
So what about for this year then? You haven't got a sponsor yet, is that right?
So I'm speaking to a lot of people regarding sponsorship, and obviously my former sponsors. I've managed to retain Michelin, who have supported me for a long time, Car Finance 24/7. I'm also in talks with a lot of other potential sponsors, so I'm currently working flat out all the time to try and make it happen, and hopefully compete in some more WRC events this year.
So you're gonna compete in the European and the WRC?
It depends on the budget. Obviously, I'd like to be in the WRC full time. That's the dream, but realistically, it's a lot more value for money to do the European Championship. And I know the rallies, my team have already got drivers out there, so they're keen to support me again in the ERC. So I think it'll be a mixture, and then hopefully for next year, WRC2, try and win it, and try and be the first driver to win the ERC and WRC2 back to back.
Well, age is still on your side.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, there's loads of really young guys coming through, but their dads are all former world champions, so they're in a different boat to me, and I'm on my own journey. I've had to carve my own path, so I'm proud of what we've achieved so far. Yeah,
exactly. You're doing it without money, really, aren't you?
Yeah, and without a name.
Yeah.
It'd be much easier if my surname was McRae, wouldn't it?
Well, listen, I hope it all goes well. You get this sponsor and you continue to rally in the European and WRC, and you're going from strength to strength. And maybe in a few years' time, I'll be talking to the new World Rally Champion.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris, for the interview.
To meet you.
That's brilliant. Yeah, great. Yeah.